So firstly, Nat, home again after such a huge result. How important is it that you carry on from where you left off in Sydney?
Yeah, it's massive. We've spoke a lot as a group about making Sky Stadium our home and making it really, really hard for other teams to come here. Picking up points away at Sydney was huge for us and huge for the team, and we just have this determination to keep going. We have 4 games left, 2 at Sky Stadium, and we have some pretty big goals to achieve towards the rest of the season, and playing at home is really, really important to us.
Unbeaten in the last 3 at Sky Stadium. Does it now feel like a home to the coaching staff and the players?
Yeah, it does. It massively feels like home, and that's something we wanted to create. As much as we can, we try and do our -1 sessions there, so we get more familiar with it. And yeah, like we do talk about the fact that 3 games since the start of the year, unbeaten there, and that's something that we want to continue for the rest of the season. And like I said, make it really, really hard for the teams to come across and play us at the stadium.
The team a couple of months ago experienced a long trip over to Western Australia. How difficult is it, do you think, for Perth to experience this for the first time, coming all the way to Wellington?
Yeah, it was hard. It was difficult. We obviously had to deal with like quite crazy temperatures too. So Wellington's putting a bit of a show on for Perth. It will be a little bit different for them, but the travel takes its toll. And they're obviously used to some pretty long flights heading over to the other side of Aussie, but that extra one, yeah, I don't know what their kind of travel schedule was like, but yeah, for us, time difference, the amount of time you're kind of on the plane or in an airport was tough to adjust to. So, but they're on a great streak. They're still chasing finals. They're doing like really, really well against some top sides in the league. So we know that they won't use the travel as an excuse like we don't.
How do you think you match up against the Glory?
I think it will be a pretty good matchup. They're riding a bit of a high. I know that they lost to Adelaide at the weekend, so they've got a lot to prove, and so do we. And it was a pretty interesting contest when we played them last. Obviously 2 red cards, and they had 2 early goals against us, and you know, we really put them under a lot of pressure, but just couldn't quite get that goal. So we'll be focusing on ourselves again, focusing on what we can control, and that's us picking up as many points as we can on this lead up to the end of the season. Just 1 point behind Newcastle as it currently stands as well. Yeah. How much is the team driven to avoid the wooden spoon for a second straight season? Yeah, it's a huge goal. This group is incredibly determined and resilient and professional, and they know that, and we've talked about it all season, if we stick to our processes, the outcome will look after itself, and we're starting to see that now. That's starting to come to fruition. So we know that we want to not be bottom of the league come the end of the season, and it's up to us really. Like we can dictate where we finish now. So we have like a quiet determination to do as much as we can to ensure that we're not bottom of the league. Yeah, and with 12 points available and having that performance against Sydney, do you think you can not just jump one place, but maybe even a couple? Yeah, I think that is reliant on a lot of other things going our way too. It's something that we always talk about, but the one thing we can control is there's 12 points on offer and how many points we can get from that. We have beaten the goal of last season, beaten those points at kind of the same stage as well. That Sydney game really helped with that. So now it's about us getting as many points as we can from the final 4 games. We have 3 games in 7 days. We're going to have to manage that load and try to be smart with the players and the fatigue, and we have a strong squad so we can rotate. So we'll do everything that we can to get as many points from the 12 that are available.
Yeah, Claudia Chico back from Kyrgyzstan of all places. How has she got over her jet lag, and is she in the running for this week?
Yeah, she's done really well. She's come back. She was excited to have the experience that she did. she was excited to come back and see that we'd beat Sydney. She was over the moon for us, and then has just slot straight back in. So yeah, she'll definitely be in the running to be in the squad this weekend.
Scored a hat-trick in their first game.
She did.
She told you that she wants to play higher up the park?
Yeah, she thinks she can be a winger now. So, nah, she's pretty versatile. We know that we could play her anywhere along the back line and even in the front three if we needed.
How much of a headache, or I suppose a positive headache, is it that you've got so much depth, particularly for that right back spot at the moment, given Mackenzie's done so well there the last couple of weeks? Yeah,
it's great. It's a problem that we've not had through a lot of the season due to just injuries, but now we seem to be tracking really, really well, and the competition in the squad is great. Being able to play Marisa central and Mac on the right the last couple of games has... you look at Marisa against Sydney, and I think she headed every single ball. I don't know how she does it. She's incredible, and it allows Mac to get higher too. So there's a lot of competition. There's good competition, but it's healthy, and it just makes trainings more intense, more competitive, which helps us at the weekend. And one of the big news stories this week is that the ALeagues are looking at Auckland as a potential destination for a new team. Would you welcome that news, an Auckland team joining the competition? Yeah, I think it'll be great. Like New Zealand rivalry. It's already got the girls talking. It's already got them being like, oh, we're the Phoenix. We already hate them. Just like a little bit of friendly rivalry. So I think for the Phoenix as a club, having a local rival will be great. I think for women's football in New Zealand, it's a great step, and what Auckland will hopefully get is time to actually create their squad and put everything in place and start really well. Hopefully also these restrictions that we're under are lifted and they don't have to deal with kind of the start that we've had. So I think it can only mean good things. Do you think there's enough depth in women's football in this country to have two professional teams? I think so. I think if you get your pathway right, if you start investing more in the youth, if we like we're doing here in the academy's now grown, so there's an actual pathway for the players coming through. I think if the restrictions are lifted, then you're able to sign Kiwis, Aussies and internationals. That's not only going to help the Kiwis know that there's two possible pathways, an Auckland and a Wellington pathway. There's an opportunity for more Australians, but there's also an opportunity internationally to kind of grow the stature of the sport here. So I think given the time that they could possibly have, they could make it something really, really good. And we've had a lot of learnings from our last 2 years as well. So we're really happy with where we're progressing this season. And when Auckland come into the league, should they come into the league in 2024, we should be hoping to be a really competitive force within the league. So we'll definitely welcome that competition. Fantastic. All the best tomorrow. Thank you.